You're good. I just hit record. So,
Oh yeah,
hello.
let me hello, hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to edition two of Craig Talks to People. Um, our first edition was Riley Schatz, and our edition today is Ryan Kelly, who played bass on most of the tracks on the Significance album and who's just a good dude overall. So, say hello to Ryan.
Wow, that's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's true.
I was thinking about when you said, "Hey, let's do this." I was thinking about the timeline of when you mentioned this project, and I had no real grasp of the scope of what you were talking about, and to what degree
Neither
you were
did
making
I.
sense.
Neither
Is
did
that what is that what it was? So it grew at the time? Is that how I was like, "Oh my God, now this is a real deal thing," and I had no idea that I was a part of it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
It did you it became more ambitious as it went on. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Marty just kept pushing me to do things right, do things more professionally. It's like at first I was like, well, I'm going to mix it, and then he's like, no, these mixes aren't good enough. You should get a professional person to mix it. And I'm like, "Fuck." But then, of course, when we did, it sounded much better. Same thing with bass. I was like, well, I'll play the bass. And then it's like, when I got you on there, I'm like, okay, that's much better than what I'm doing.
Well,
It just kind of, go ahead.
I was just gonna say no. I was just reminiscing because I was like, I didn't read the emails very close, but this thing is way more, yeah, ambitious or a bigger project than I thought. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is really cool. And I just kind of, it's like I fell into the tide of something and just got swept along with it. When of
Yeah.
course, it's your tide, all your songs, but I had a blast playing on them.
I feel like I'm right, just getting good people to play on it and mix and all that, which is helping. But yeah, it was, at first it was like, well, maybe I'll put out a song, and then it's maybe I'll do another song, and maybe this one could be better. And uh, as Marty likes to say, my favorite piece of advice he's given me is everything has to be right. And
Get it right at the source.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's right about that. And it's been a learning experience for me, just recording everything and hearing where my playing's a little off, or my vocals are a little off. I've gotten better and better with basically Marty's been a sounding board for me, which I didn't have for years and years. It's probably why I didn't put anything down.
That's someone that can do that in a way that, yeah, is not, what am I trying to say? That is actually helpful and not just tearing you down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's very much that way. And it always comes from a place of, oh, I just love music so much that I just want this to be as good as it can be. It's that's always the motivation with him.
I'm amazed that people that have that clear-cut opinion, the choices are overwhelming that you could make, and the people that know what they want, I'm just amazed at. Whereas
Yeah,
I'm more of in the moment and just I throw it at the wall and move on because I have no attention span. But
yeah, yeah,
no, I mean, the tracks coming in and then hearing them as they progress was amazing. And then of course the drummer just killing it, and I'm like, well, shit, I gotta do this well when I'm hearing these drum tracks, and
yeah.
it was really cool.
I'm feel super fortunate to have Michael play drums on it. He's a guy that I knew back in Dallas. He played in a band out there called Pop Poppins, and I was a fan of theirs. And I always thought he was a terrific drummer. And so when I started doing this again, I was like, well, I'll play the drums on it. And then Marty's like, no, you should get a real drummer. And I was like, well, I wonder what that guy's doing, And I mean, I barely knew him, but called him up, sent him to amplify me, and he's like, yeah, this is great. I really like this, and I'd love to play on it. So he's on tour with Slash this summer, if that tells you
No
anything.
way. Well,
Yeah,
he was killing the drums, and I was
yeah,
like, I gotta make this work and
yeah,
amplify me. Yeah. Um, I remember that one
yeah,
really probably where I was realizing,
yeah.
oh my God, this guy's killing it.
Well, it's funny.
And
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I tried to play as hard as I could for whatever reason. I thought maybe it'll rock harder if I'm like playing really too hard
Yeah,
on the bass.
yeah,
But I don't know if it actually had that effect. But I thought at least it was there when it was recorded. It
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
I think it did.
this,
At some point I listened to it with just drums and bass, and I was like, damn, both of these guys killing it. And it
well,
was,
the song was called Amplify Me, and I was like, oh, this has got to, I mean, it's got
yeah,
to
it's a
just leap off the speaker.
yeah, it's a wall of sound. We have, I think there's like literally 20 different guitars on that. Like not guitar tracks, but different guitars. Like,
Actual guitars.
yeah, because Marty recorded his stuff in Penzance, England, and he had all his guitars there, so he was trying everything. And then I think I've got two or three of mine. Um,
Wow.
but
No frequency left
yeah,
unturned.
exactly. It's funny, the album turned out to be such a wall of sound that, which is fine. I love that, but it's making me want to do something kind of smaller next. And I got this. You can see it on here. I got a Tascam.
I see it.
Yep, and I'm gonna
Very,
record some
very,
stuff
that
on
takes
that.
me back. That
Yeah.
takes me back.
Well, I was reading about Bruce Springsteen and how he did his Nebraska album on one of these, not realizing he was ever going to use it for the album. But
And that was what was
released. Yeah. So I thought, well, that would be
I didn't know
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Did you have to, Scott? Was it hard to find that?
Not really. On reverb.com, there's loads of stuff. Reverb.com, send us money.
You got to find cassettes though.
Yeah, that was a little harder, but I found them. I think I got those on eBay or something. I got a box of 10. So that's what I'm limited to, is however much 10 cassette tapes can hold. But
I mean, I literally, as in high school, I had two tape decks, and one of them had mic inputs, and it would record both the RCA ends and the mic inputs at the same time. So you could use the other tape deck and two cassettes and do
cool.
multi-tracks that got very noisy very quick as you transferred tape to tape to tape.
Yeah.
But it would work.
Yeah.
And it was like a but no, you're talking about the wall of sound thing. I mean, it is, I mean, if you like guitar, there's so much cool. I mean, it's just like one tone after the other. It's almost, yeah, very guitar porny.
That's for sure. Yeah. It's funny.
Well, why not? That's what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a guitar player.
Yeah, it's true. And Marty, and on Kick My Tires, that one, I just told Marty, I said, just fucking go for it, dude. Just let it rip, because this is a song about, insanity going on in my head, thoughts banging around and stuff. And so he did. And then one of the reviews of it was like, I haven't heard Wilson Piper play like this in years. And it's like, well, because it's one of those things I think we've lost a bit in rock, is it feels sort of uncool to play with bombast,
Maybe so. I know. I believe in, like, in this quote studio, which in your case was this shed.
Yeah.
I was still like standing up and moving when I was recording.
Yeah.
If I'm playing a gig and I stop tapping my foot because my leg's getting tired, all of a sudden that foot tap is that's my blanket.
That's
you got to be moving something. Something's got to move.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
That's funny. Next time I see you play, I'm gonna look for that.
it's so if I'm not moving, I'm swaying something, but I do believe if you can put that in. And then as far as rock and bombastic, maybe everything has a certain, I don't know if you'd call it the plug-in sound or whatever, but maybe you're saying it's not enough of just a kind of room sound and just going at it.
Well, we're about the same age, I think. And, when we were high schoolers, you had REM and U2 coming up as heroes. And, they were all about being minimal and staying in the back. And, there were no guitar solos in most U2 songs or REM songs. And it was like, it was a reaction against,
it was definitely a reaction.
Yeah. But, I miss a little bit of that. Just, let it go. Like, let your anger out, So, you still there? I think you're frozen. Oh, you're back. You froze up on me for a minute. Okay.
I know I did. I wonder if that's probably my Wi-Fi. But you were saying that no guitar solos reaction to the heavy metal that had or glam metal that had preceded.
Yeah, yeah. But so let me talk about your musical history. Like I know you from Dayroom, obviously, but what did you do before that?
Oh, uh, well, I moved. Let's see. If we go backwards from Dayroom, I met Dayroom through playing in a band called Rain that uh, was on a compilation with Dayroom. And if we move backwards from that, I moved from Statesboro to Atlanta with Grain. But they broke up, and then I was staying in someone's Lime Credo's room in this other band's room. And Troy was the manager for Dayroom. I'm going back forward. Troy was the manager for Dayroom and was like, "Hey, we need a bass player."
Yeah,
And I was like, "They got a van and gigs. I don't know what they sound like, but I'll go play with them."
yeah,
Because
there you go.
I was delivering pizzas. And but before that, like even before Grain, I had a band in high school that kind of spilled on into after high school. That was all original music, and I played guitar. And we were very influenced by Sonic Youth and the Pixies, and all that kind of stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
Um, and it was a lot of fun. And did recordings with of some sort or another. In fact, that first band recorded at the guy who opened Triclops before there was a Triclops in I think his parents' house. Had to be his parents' house, but they weren't there. We recorded our second cassette because we couldn't afford to pay for CDs at the time. But
I
so
remember
yeah,
that.
just hopping. Never thought of it as being like I just wanted to be in a band and write cool songs or be a part of writing cool songs, and never thought of making money. It was after I stopped playing original music all the time that I actually started making money playing music.
That's funny. Yeah,
But yeah, that all ultimately landed with playing with Dayroom and playing a whole bunch with Dayroom. We played a lot.
yeah. How many gigs do you think total you guys did? Well, how long were you in it? You
I
joined.
want to say it was 6 years or something, or seven,
Yeah,
90. I'm bad about that stuff. Other people would know better. But it was probably at least 7 years.
yeah,
And 4 years. No, it was longer than four, but 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in there. And we had a booking agent that I guess would make money if we played, obviously. So we played everywhere instead of working from Athens and working our way out. We just went everywhere, which
yeah,
was interesting because we kind of went off and like I guess sucked a lot on the road and then came back to Athens and kicked a lot more ass
yeah,
because we had gone out and made all these got better and better just playing town after town.
yeah. I mean, that's how you do it, right? It's like the Beatles model of just play all the time, like they did at the
I don't
time.
see how else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how else. I mean, no, I'm not going to say. Obviously, there's going to be people that just they come out of the womb and they whatever it is they can do, they just do. And those are you read about those people and all. But for the average person like me, yeah, um, if I think I was good at it, just good at it enough to get a little bit of reward to keep me wanting to learn more about it. And so I'm
yeah,
always still trying to learn because I'm a
yeah,
slow learner.
yeah, yeah. No, I remember that about you. That when you guys stopped through Dallas once and stayed at my place, I think you were just pulled out your bass and you're just practicing during the day, and I'm like, damn, this guy is committed to this seriously. Uh,
Ah,
I certainly
well,
didn't.
thank you
And I
for
was
letting us
like,
stay at your place too, by the way. I should
yeah, you're
say
welcome.
that.
Um,
And we didn't have phones and stuff back then too, so that was probably
yeah,
like the only fidget toy I had around.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I remember hearing about you guys playing like 200 gigs a year or something like that.
And yeah, when we had that the booking agent that was like, "I make money if they play."
Yeah,
Not that I mean, I'm just thinking about it now in retrospect. But so it was over 200 shows for a couple years straight, and then I think Troy took over the booking, you know, I'm sure I could be corrected by anyone that would know. But Troy took over the booking again, and we kind of realized, let's focus more at our home base and work out rather than trying to play in 22 different states, all the time. But it was a lot of fun, and you make a lot of friends that you'll never see again. And but it was school basically if you wanted to be, especially if you want to be a rock musician, but just any kind of musician and any kind of live performance. There's just there's a huge difference between rehearsal studio or a bedroom and then the stage. And I'm trying to get that bedroom playing onto the stage. It's my stage playing, when you're totally relaxed.
Exactly how
and
you
that
feel.
just and that just takes, and that the more you do it, and the more you screw up and suck. I've tried to learn to take solos, and I just suck a lot.
Yeah.
But then you start sucking less and less and less, and still suck occasionally. But the only way I think to do it is, get it better, especially in front of people, is just to do it, not be afraid to suck.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, if you suck too much, I guess you're not going to be able to do it in front of people. I don't know. There's a balance there.
There's
I'm not really thinking this through, am I?
There's somewhere for everyone to play, I think. It's some, Monday night open mic somewhere, but
no, Dayroom was an amazing opportunity to just get out there and, like, you want to learn how to do this? Here you go. You won't make any money, but you will be busy and you will be living the lifestyle. Thankfully, probably we didn't make any money. You can't get into too much trouble if you don't make any money.
That's a good point. The $10 per diem isn't going to buy you any
yes,
hard
the $10
drugs.
per diem. The $10 per diem.
I remember seeing something with Tommy Chong talking about the worst thing that happened was when they got enough money to buy Coke.
Yeah, if you're, it would have been crazy. I can't imagine being crazy successful at that age. You'd have to be pretty smart and pretty together to resist a lot of temptation. And and luckily, I didn't have a whole lot of temptation. So.
It's funny. But I miss that feeling, like, when we were playing a lot with the Reach, which was my band back in the 90s.
I remember. For sure.
The songs become automatic, and you can really play without thinking and then concentrate on the emotion of the song. And as I've come back and started to play some acoustic gigs and stuff here, it's been thinking, okay, what's the next part coming up? What are the words to this next verse? And you kind of lose that. But like the other night I played one where I finally was like automatic enough that I really just got into the emotion of the song. And I was like, oh, I remember this. This is nice. This is fun. So
I bet you'll be able to do that again easier since you've already made the connection now. And it probably, because I try to close my eyes a lot, and then I'm less distracted by somebody walking by or something, because I play so many bars and restaurants and stuff. And
as a musician, and then when I was doing stand-up comedy, I always loved the fact that you had bright lights.
I forget that.
You had bright lights in your face and you couldn't see anything, out past, which helps, I think. But
screw being a musician, being a stand-up, that's the rawest, craziest. You might as well be a boxer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I wasn't that good at it, but I really enjoyed doing it for a while and meeting some people and kind of seeing behind the curtain. I'm a guy who has to look behind the curtain and see the wizard,
Yeah. Oh, well, it's got to be a journey within as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just like songwriting. I guess there's a lot of similarities probably with songwriting. Maybe you're bearing something about yourself regardless, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. But all right, let's see. So you just did sorry, I'm like so not a good interviewer. I'm not prepared.
I don't know if I'm talking too much.
No, you're good. Whatever. It's a conversation. So you've done 2 reunions that I know of with Dayroom, and I was just blown away at how tight you guys were after years of not playing together. and we did one Reach reunion, and I was kind of surprised at how tight we were. I guess the songs just kind of stay with you, you know. How much
Maybe it's
rehearsal, how
that
much
thing.
rehearsal did you guys do for?
Well, we did. I think this last one was a shorter period. But anywhere from 4 to 3 days right before leading up to it, um, is typically how it goes because of the geography involved. And, you kind of got to strike when everyone, they only come in town for the week. And so the last one, I think, was only 3 days, but I assume there's homework being done. I know I had to do homework,
Yeah,
and then, and then of course, with Dayroom, especially the older songs, some of the newer ones that were written right towards the last year of being together were not as just, honed in. Like, I mean, but once you run through them a few times by yourself, you, yeah, you kind of get it back. It was the singing that I had to work on,
yeah,
because I don't sing. I was never a good singer in Dayroom, but I sang most on the majority of tunes. I'd do the low, easy part. That was kind of probably a root or something like that, you
yeah,
know. But having to do that, not so much coordinated with the bass, but just um, singing again, because that's, I mean, if I could sing, I wouldn't need to play guitar
yeah.
or bass.
Yeah.
If I could sing,
No,
that's what people want to hear.
singing and playing at the same time is always tricky. I mean, there's certain songs where
Yeah, those day room
it's
ones,
easy.
I had that coordination down. It was just the actual voice,
Oh
just
yeah,
trying to get the breath again. And um,
yeah.
but
No,
so
I know the
Kip, our
feeling.
sound man, would always get mad because I would pull back from the mic because I was like, if it's gonna be out of tune, at least it'll be like way in the background, and maybe it'll be like a chorus effect. It's just slightly detuning it.
There you go.
And he would yell at me.
Yeah, that's funny. You think you guys will do that again?
I leave it up to the people that have to travel, and you know, I'm more of a I don't if it strikes their fancy and they ask and there's enough time to set it aside, sure. My main concern is that enough people want to see it.
Yeah, yeah,
I would hate to hey, well, let me shake your hand again. Thank you for coming. I know I just said that, but thank you for
all
since
good.
there's 10 of you here, uh, you know,
I lost you again.
much fun. But the last, I think we strategically had a smaller room so that it looked, it was kind of like looked fuller, and
Yeah, no, you
people were
guys.
crammed together. And anytime you get that crammed together, you get it's more like a rock show. It just there's a I think at least in if you don't have all the space, then you're kind of more sweaty together, and it's like you're
Yeah,
all experiencing it maybe even more together than if you're all spread out in a
yeah.
bigger room.
Well, I think Smith's is kind of the perfect size room to me. For that reason.
Oh, was that me?
You there? Oh,
Yeah, I was worried. I might. Yeah,
okay.
go ahead. Smith is what?
I think it's kind of the perfect size room for that reason. I guess if you could fill up a
Yeah,
huge
I
place,
think
it'd be great. But it's a intimate kind of thing there.
it's been amazing. Yeah, I guess the ticket sales have. I want to say my memory, and I don't. My business is my. I'm terrible at it, but I think they've been kind of consistent with the reunions of how many people want to come, and I think it's scheduled where it can be kind of a reunion of sorts, and then we can be the catalyst. We'll see all these people we used to know in college, and we'll go to a day room show like we used to. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but so it is the perfect venue, and we used to play there all the time, and it's just nostalgia. And I mean, it's a great. The last time we played there, they had done some great upgrades, and the staff was awesome, and they had cool lighting people, or cool lighting and cool lighting people. I remember, and it was just a lot of fun. Uh,
yeah. I'm really glad that
uh,
it's stuck around. Atlanta. The so it loses some of its charm as the years go by, but that's a place that's
yeah,
stayed there. And
yeah, that's. I mean, because I wouldn't know anything about Atlanta now. I don't even know. I mean, there's a whole music scene in Savannah with scat, and even with the underground scene that I would have been a part of at that age, or we would have been a part of at that age. But I
yeah,
don't know that scene.
I'm too old
Um,
to be a part of any scene because that requires going out late at night.
yeah, I
And
mean, yeah, you're probably right. I do want to. I want to find. the time to like maybe when my son moves out of the house and he's doing fine and doesn't need me at all, I want to like get on that scene and be the weird old guy that gets into weird eclectic music projects, not for any money, but like you
Yeah.
got someone who's, 19 and you got a 38-year-old and me, I'm 64 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was what I look forward to is the projects that, that I just want to find that, because, if you build it, they'll come. And then maybe you could actually build something, uh, that is
Funny. I like,
artistic.
well,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's like, I feel like, you know, for Blueburst, if we were going to do some sort of stage show, it's like I feel like I would need like a 20-year-old up there somewhere to sort of
Oh, right.
negate me. I think that would be ideal, is like have like three of us and then just get some, 20-year-old there to give us cred, with younger people. I don't know.
Yeah, backup guitars or something, or I
Yeah.
don't know yeah.
Yeah. But
Or, yeah, I keep remembering that, when I talk to people at places I play, I'm like, oh yeah, I could be their parents
yeah.
when if
Yeah. No, there was a girl who played at, and I say girl because she was 16. She played at Eddie's Attic last week, and I wanted to go talk to her afterwards because she was really good. And then I'm like, I don't want to be the creepy old man here, but you were really good, and I was like,
yeah, you're
get
so afraid to.
yeah. I'm like, I'd love to
I'm
get your
so afraid.
contact info, and then I'm like, but is that weird? And she's like, well, you can talk to my mom. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I talked to her
There
mom,
you
like, she's
go.
really good, if you want
That's
to
funny.
record at my place or something. But Eddie's is an amazing venue. I don't know how familiar you are with that, but it's just the open mics on Monday
Rose.
are amazing. You still there?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I am here. No, I know what you're saying. But the beauty of music is that commonality that brings these people together that would never know each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, definitely.
you know, um, I love that music. If if you get asked to play something, there, then whether you got a music degree, whether you don't have a music degree, whatever it is, read, don't read, can you play? Like if you're getting asked, you can,
Yeah.
what I mean. It's a level playing field. Doesn't matter about your background. Like, what does it sound like when you make music?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I love about. That's one of the things I love about music, and it brings people that I would never have known from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
ages.
And yeah, and that's the cool thing about Eddie is I was talked about. There was a 16-year-old girl. There's also like a 78-year-old man. So it's like
Yeah,
it's anybody and
all with
everybody.
that same passion.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm assuming other passions and hobbies and such do the same effect. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Music. I mean, how many people have you ever met that said they don't care for music? I've met like one person.
One person. Actually, I can think of one person, and he was a major
Exactly.
asshole.
There are
He's a
some weird
major
people
asshole.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't say names, but this guy was too, and
Yeah.
RIP, in fact.
Yeah.
But he didn't like music. He didn't.
I saw Flaming Lips last summer, and
Holy smokes!
yeah, Wayne Coyne talks a lot in between songs, and it gets a little over the top. But one of the things he was talking about is like how much he loves being around people who love music, and Holly, my wife, was like, yeah, that's true. If I meet someone and they're really into music, as a listener or player or whatever, they're generally really good people, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, maybe there might be some correlation there.
Yeah.
As far as, well, I guess it's an emotional response. Maybe it's something to do with your empathy or
Yeah.
something.
Could be.
Um,
Could be.
we got to see the Flaming Lips in would have been in the 90s. Idaho. No, what the hell is that place called? Uh, Iowa City. Iowa City.
Iowa City.
There's a university there, Iowa University or something. I don't know which university's there, but we were there, and I think we had time to kill because we had played somewhere close by the day before, and they were like, well, there's a free Flaming Lips show over at the university or the college, whatever it was.
And you were like, free? Okay.
It was outdoor, yeah, and free, yeah, and we could walk.
Yeah, there you go.
So what a cool surprise! And they had this crazy wall, which people may be aware of, and it was not lit when they first started, but when they did light it, I mean, it just this whole thing, parts were moving, but it was all very handmade and like, arts and crafty instead of like
Yeah.
digital stuff now. But it was amazing. It was a great
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
You saw them recently though.
Yeah. Yeah. Like last
That's
summer.
that's very cool.
It was a huge production. And, it was interesting though. I was standing next to the sound guy. I usually do that at shows because I figure that's where it's going to sound the best. And I asked
understand.
him, and I was watching how much all their stuff synced up with the lighting and the messaging on the screens. And so I asked him after the show, I'm like, did they play to a click track? And he said, yeah.
I think it's
That's
pretty
crazy.
prevalent.
I think you have
Or
to.
what's the word?
Prevalent?
What's prevalent?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just did a sow. Never mind.
I mean, click track in the studio, but I never thought about like a band like that using a click, but you kind of have to if you're going to have that kind of show and that type of
Yep.
synchronicity between what you're doing and what's happening on the screen. So that's like another whole dimension of it that blows
That
my.
might also speak to your comments earlier about people not, just rock it. And I mean, I'm sure the recording Kick My Tire was to a click, but still maybe live if, that or do you think they program in like slight tempo bumps at the chorus? Now I'm nerding out here. This is
Could-
probably not interesting, but how like the chorus might by like to be a little faster and then it comes back.
Could be. It's funny. I did that on the cover of Train in Vain.
Yeah.
You there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we have Frozen Ryan again. Let's see if he comes back. Okay.
I got you back.
All right.
I got off my Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's all right.
You said you were saying that you did some tempo, what would you say, modulation on Train in Vain?
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't get the tempo right on it, and I finally realized that it needed to speed up as it went along, and sort of grew in momentum. And I had seen something on the internet where they were talking about tempo changes, and it was, it might have been one of those Rick Beato things, but he played Honky Tonk Woman, and it's like incredible how slow that song is at the beginning, how fast it is at the end.
Oh, so many songs.
And so I just put in a real gradual climb, and the drummer was giving me shit about it. He's like, man, I can't fucking do that. You change the tempo. And I'm like, come on, you can do it. But
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I never even noticed it.
yeah, I mean,
But I mean, it's probably because it probably felt right.
I mean, it only goes from like 92 to 94 or something like that. It's not.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, just a little bit of lift.
Yeah.
I know. That makes sense because I figured that would be something people would do with those tracks, because to give a little bit, because I don't know. But you're so right about those old songs. Like if you listen to the one that always leaps to mind, it's a instrumental Herbie Hancock Chameleon song,
Mhm.
and it's like the funk song that every band's learning to play funk plays.
Sorry,
But
my
anyway,
dog's
yeah,
going crazy.
listen to the first of it, of course, and then go to the end. But there's a lot of classic rock songs that do the same thing.
Yeah.
And we loved it. We didn't care. I mean,
Oh.
why does it have to stay? It doesn't have to stay on the grid. But
I mean-
anyway, we're nerding out.
Yeah, no, that's all right. This is for nerds. But I would love to do that. If we could ever get you and Michael here at the same time and rehearse for a few days, and just go to the studio without a click track and cut the rhythm tracks. I think that would be killer.
It would, yeah.
Why not?
It probably gives it a more live feel.
Oh, sorry, my dogs are going ape shit because my wife there she is. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, my wife just walked in, so we should stop.
Of course.
And I'll at least follow her to the other room.
No worries.
Yeah, we I mean, I've always used one in the studio.
You kind of have to the way you recorded this.
Well, the way I
You
recorded
don't
this,
kind of
yeah,
have to.
but
You have
even
to, I
in the
think.
reach when we did, but
Right.
but I think it just depends on the level of the musicians, and how in tune they are.
Oh, you know what I'm trying to remember with Dayroom on that last one. I think we did on a song called Maybe.
Mhm.
We played to a click. I remember it was like a big debate. I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it all wrong. Maybe we played to more clicks than I remember, but
Yeah.
but no, I don't think so. I think
I
it was
remember,
maybe because, go ahead.
I remember with the Reach, we had one song where we were playing along to the click, and then it got to the bridge, and we suddenly realized that there was a massive tempo change in the bridge.
Ah,
And we're
yeah,
like,
the
all right,
field changes.
we're like, all right, you gotta cut that off when we get to the bridge. And then
Exactly.
we're gonna hit a chord and you gotta press it again. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back in.
That becomes part of the damn performance too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like having to learn how to hit the right pedals and play the
Yeah.
part and
Like,
sing or whatever.
it's like Springsteen's, 1, 2, 3, 4, but, so I was going to ask you about, I'm curious about this because I saw the documentary not too long ago about Woodstock 99.
Oh
And
yeah.
I know you guys played there, or maybe you didn't actually get to play. So
No,
tell me about that. What can you tell me? Because it looked like just literally a
clusterfuck.
shit show.
Yes. It was condensed down. As I don't remember how far advanced we knew about it. We were
You know
supposed
what?
to play on
Hang
like
on. Hey, my thing's
go
about,
ahead.
I don't have a membership to this, so it's about to cut off our meeting. But I can
You want
just
to start a new one?
start a new one. Yeah. All right.
I'll leave then, right?
All right. But yeah, you can use the same link. That's the kind of professionalism we have here is that I don't have a Zoom membership. So our meeting got cut off. So we're restarting. So Ryan should be here in a minute. There he is. And we're back. All right. Oh, shit. I couldn't hear you. No, still can't hear you. Can you hear me? Ryan is connecting to audio. It says you're muted. No. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, I should have it now.
Okay, cool. All right. So before I cut us off, I was asking Ryan about Woodstock 99.
Oh yeah.
Literal shit show that it was because Dayroom was slated to play there. So
I think it was, I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was mp3.com, a website about MP3s, I guess.
yeah.
And uh, we were maybe at that, I think we were supposed to play on their stage. And I don't know how long in advance we knew, but I remember we played the Cotton Club and very triumphantly announced that we were going to be traveling up to play that show, that big Woodstock thing, and
Yeah.
drove a whole long way.
Oh shit,
And
Woodstock. It sounds awesome. Sounds
of
like a
course, it was
killer on
going
your
to be
resume.
awesome.
We played at Woodstock. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to be asked, but I guess in hindsight, I don't know how we got asked. I really have no clue, but someone else in the band would know, Troy or somebody would know. But when we get there, it's just it's on an Air Force tarmac, so it's all concrete, like
Yeah.
an old Air Force base, I should say.
Right.
And it was not long after the sun had started to come up. It was pretty early, and there was I just remember seeing these oil drums overflowing with trash, like big 55-gallon drums that were used as trash cans, kind of in a pile all together. And there was so much trash, and there were these young people doing kind of a drum circle on found objects and maybe some real drums. And it seemed like they'd just been up all night and they were literally just drumming in the trash. And I realized at that point, like, oh no, something's weird here.
That's some Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, like, and just there was not a lot of love with the whole concrete ground thing. And
Yeah.
and of course the thing was run very poorly. You learn about later. And we got bumped because I'm sure we were probably like the least significant person or band on the bill. I was just assuming. And John Entwistle, the bass player for the Who,
Who
from
we,
what
who we forget played at the original Woodstock.
yeah, I guess so. So,
Yeah.
for him, maybe he wanted to make a full circle thing before he left this planet, and he wanted to play. So I think we got bumped. So when
Yeah.
we did find our contact, at first, if I remember other band members telling the story, that they're like, Dayroom who? Like, maybe we were never on the bill. I don't know, but we had passes.
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy. No, I assume we were on the bill. I mean, we certainly wouldn't have driven all that way.
Yeah.
But so, and John Entwistle, and literally we're learning this information, and well, maybe I'm wrong if it coincided, but I know at one point I knew we were bumped by John Entwistle, and I was very close to John Entwistle, standing there, just back quote stage area, which was on the ground,
Yeah.
concrete, maybe grass in that part. But so yeah, it was very bizarre to me because I, kind of a bass legend, and like I've never been around someone of. I mean, that's kind of huge, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I really hated that guy at the moment, and he had like screwed up. Like, I mean, I brought Patty, my wife, like I was gonna be a big rock star in front of her, and like, woohoo, look at me, baby. And then it's like, oh, this old guy that likes spiders is gonna anyway, I'm joking.
No, it's
But
funny.
so I guess he played. I don't even know.
Yeah.
We tried. They tried to accommodate us with other gigs. Like one was the cyber tent where you could go in, get online because this was in the '90s or later '90s. But so you had to have a cyber tent. No one had phones yet, and but that was just full of urine because there were so few porta potties.
Yeah.
The stories of people waiting so long, and you had to buy water. The whole thing was just yeah. Anyway, and so I think the pluses I got out of it were we did get to see some of the Brian Setzer Orchestra, which is pretty amazing
Yeah.
from afar. But I watched 20 minutes, so they were kicking ass, and then got to see Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction, or Farrell, however you say that,
Yeah.
uh, do some weird DJ stuff that was just weird. It was interesting because it was him, I guess. Not if it
Yeah.
was anyone else, I would have been like, all right, let's leave. But I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction was amazing. But other than that, it was just a lot of walking or stomping around with like gear and stuff, but not using it. And
Oh man.
and then we did
Yeah.
leave like when we finally gave up, like this is not happening. Let's just tuck our tail and run. Um, it wasn't that long after that that those riots happened, and I think it was either that night or the next day that we saw on the news, like MTV News or Real News. I don't know which news it was that uh this shit was on fire. And we were like, hey, we were just there, like literally in that frame that they're showing on TV. I know where that is. I was just there
Yeah.
hours ago, and now it's on, I don't know if it's literally on fire, but you could obviously there was a ruckus going on. I
Yeah.
know real money was used instead of fake money, and I think that was one of the problems too, that it was easy to rob vendors when
Yeah.
you got fed up with the event.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we drove back. I think my wife, in a bit of rebellion and anger, tried to shoplift a bag of potato chips. I love telling that story because it's so uncharacteristic, so uncharacteristic. And so she got caught, and like
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, oh my God, like, but it was more of like the woman. Anyway, it worked out fine, but it was just like you really almost gonna have to get police involved because of a bag of chips. Uh, anyway, it was just it was mayhem, like you said. Lord of the
Yeah.
Flies, it was insane what they did to these people, taking their money and what they
Yeah.
did.
Well, to me, it just like even before it started, it's like Woodstock, love, peace, all that, headlined by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, see, yeah,
It's like all
okay,
the most of the bands they had listed were not about love and peace at all. They're these really aggressive,
that's funny. That new
bands.
metal or whatever it was would have
Yeah.
been popular at the
Yeah. It
time,
was
I
like
guess.
Kid Rock and
Yeah.
uh yeah, Limp Bizkit and the Chili Peppers.
Well, you just watched
Um,
the thing. Was it literally? It wasn't in Woodstock, was it?
no, no. I forget where
Okay, I was
that
just
Air
making.
Force Base was. Oh, yeah, you should watch the documentary. It's insane.
I
It'll
would love to. Yeah,
yeah, I think
I
it's on
need to.
Netflix. Yeah.
That's so crazy. Um,
Yeah.
I assume we didn't get paid. I assume we just drove up there to like get humiliated. No, I mean, really, I don't. I didn't feel humiliated,
If you're gonna
but it
get
was
bumped, at least it was John Entwistle.
yeah. But at the same time, you're pretty pissed that you drove like overnight. I mean, it's a lot of
Yeah.
driving from Atlanta, Georgia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and plus you told all your fans
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like 2 nights before at the Cotton Club. Hey, we're gonna be awesome. Look for us on the MP, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
What a
yeah, we
bummer.
got a slight update to make
Yeah.
anyway. But that was that, and
I think that was the last time something like that's going to go down. But the festivals now are so secure, it seems like, and they've figured it out somewhat. But
assume except for those like that went on the beach or something. What was that one where they sent them all down to some
oh,
island or
the
something?
fire festival. Yeah, that was
Yeah, yeah.
a total scam. The cheese sandwiches.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're like, you're going to be in luxury accommodations with gourmet meals, and it's like cheese sandwiches. But
I luckily, yeah, I don't have the time or the money to indulge in those type of things to be scammed.
yeah, yeah, I've been to a couple of them. I never really liked them because you're always seeing a short set from the band that you like, and it's hot, and so I don't know. I don't really go.
Are you saying like stay overnight or just maybe for the day?
Just the festivals in general, like Lollapalooza.
Yeah,
I went one year. Of course, that was in Dallas. It was about 110 degrees, and
I was gonna say if it's hot.
uh, but it was worth it because I can now say I saw the Ramones. So
Hey, I did see some cool bands at Lollapalooza,
yeah,
and I mean, I guess yeah. And if you're younger, once you get a little older, you know, you want to
yeah.
pamper yourself a little more. But yeah, you're right. It was a good chance to see some stuff. I didn't see the Ramones. That was the first one, probably with Jane's Addiction and all that.
It was later. It was the Metallica Soundgarden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that would have been
I
about 90, 95, somewhere in there.
Now, yeah. Um, I think I saw the one with the Chili Peppers. I can't remember if I saw one or two. But I know the Chili Peppers and the Breeders and Ministry. Fuck, remember Ministry?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about them till just now. Uh, who else was on? Oh, Beastie Boys. I saw one time.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, I think they did. So I must have seen two,
I
two
met
of them.
I met Mike D and shook his hand once. I didn't know who it was when I met him, and then my
Wow.
friend's like, "That was Mike D from the Beastie Boys." I'm like, "It was? Oh, cool." It was a
Well, I'm sure you were very relaxed and
yeah, I
he thought
was.
you were pretty
He probably
cool.
thought I was awesome. Yeah, it was at a Knicks
That's what I'm
game.
saying.
Yeah,
That's
uh,
beautiful.
yeah,
No,
but
I remember now. God, I can say I saw the Beastie Boys. I forgot. But you're right. You don't really almost don't count some of those festival performances uh, as much because it's not their show. And,
yeah. Like I was just really
um,
getting into Soundgarden, and then they were done. It's like 45 minutes.
did you see the one in Atlanta with Soundgarden with
No,
Pearl Jam? No,
I
you were
did
in Dallas. You were in Dallas.
in Dallas. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember in Atlanta, I saw Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, and I wanted to see Soundgarden so bad. I don't know if he was off or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
whatever. I just remember. And then Pearl Jam, I thought was like put together by some label or something. I didn't know what they were. I just was
yeah,
rebelling against what I was being thrust upon me now.
yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden they came out, and I was like, okay, they're the real friggin' deal. I
You
was
know,
blown
I
away by their performance.
I
I
was
was
the
like,
same
okay,
way about them. I didn't really like them. I just thought they were overrated. And then a friend of mine got tickets when I was in LA, and I just suddenly I got it, and I
it
really
was amazing.
yeah,
I was like,
great.
Jesus Christ. He got passed from at the old Lakewood, whatever they call it now. What do they call it now?
I forget.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But yeah, the amphitheater, the big one.
yeah,
Uh, from the front all the way back to the
yeah,
wall,
yeah,
he rode as far as the crowd to go back. I'm probably exaggerating until there were no more hands to
yeah.
pass him back, and then he ran back up. This is all during like a guitar solo, and we were just in. I was my Patty. I was with Patty. We were astonished, and I remember when he got back on stage, he was like, "I'll never do that again." He told the crowd. I mean, I think it took it was a feat of athleticism, and I
Yeah.
think he was tired.
I bet he had a few bruises after that.
Yeah, yeah. He said, "I'll never do that." But anyway, they blew me away, and
Yeah,
I still love Soundgarden, of course, but I
yeah,
don't know if he was whatever reason. It's just hard to recreate some of those songs
yeah.
vocally,
Sometimes,
or maybe he was tired.
sometimes you
But
get somebody on an off night, but
oh, of course, I don't judge at all, man. But
yeah.
that was awesome. Yeah, I remember that. God, I forgot about that.
Well, cool, man.
Then you see, like,
Go ahead.
what's that?
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, if I may, one more reminisce would be I got to see or just see two different shows at Lakewood. One being like those type of shows where certain bands have a mosh pit, and there's shoes flying everywhere, and you're like, you don't, you're scared to get too close. You might get sucked into it
Yeah.
because I don't really know how to mosh, and uh, I haven't moshed much at all. Have you moshed?
One time at the Georgia Theater, I tried to mosh to that band Johnny Quest. You remember them?
Oh, God bless Johnny Quest. I
Yeah.
forgot about them.
And I just felt this giant hand on my stomach, and I went flying across the room. And I look up, and there's just this guy looks like the Hulk, just like that, his shirt off. And later I found out it was Alec Millen, All-American offensive tackle for the Bulldogs.
No way.
Yeah.
At Johnny
He
Quest.
just
Well, they
threw, he
played a
just
bunch
threw
of
me
press
like,
and stuff.
and I'm a big dude, and he just threw me like a rag doll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it is there's a certain height requirement probably if you
Yeah.
really want to mosh. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
But I forget about all that. But then I also saw I was working at a pizza joint, and this cop that wanted to open a pizza joint would like help us make pies because he wanted to learn how to run a pizza joint, and he
Yeah.
had these free tickets to go see BB King, Little Feat, and what was the other one? Oh, Dr. John.
Nice.
And it was
Yeah.
like an afternoon show, and oh my God, it was every type of person, young, old, counterculture, churchy looking, whatever.
Yeah.
All the groups, all hanging out,
A
having
Dolly,
picnics. It was,
a Dolly Parton
it,
show.
yeah, it was like total like. And then I'd like recently seen the maelstrom of moshing and all the craziness
Yeah.
and ministry or whatever, uh, and I had the best day. I was like, this is so peaceful. Like this is music. All these people are loving this, and we're all just no one, they don't care if I look a certain way. I don't care if they look a certain. It just remember that to this day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
how important, how uh impactful that was to me, that show. And then BB King, who I didn't understand. Like so many people, like a Louis Armstrong or something like that. You don't, and then all of a sudden it'll click or whatever. But with BB King, it was when I saw him that show, which I never planned to go see, was I was like, holy shit, I get why
Yeah.
he made, I swear he was talking to me.
Yeah.
Somehow he had that stage presence, even as far away as he was in that amphitheater.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, I totally get it now. I mean, maybe the recordings, I'm sure they do convey it, but once I saw him live, I was like, oh, he's an amazing entertainer. I don't know what he's doing, why it is, but it
Yeah.
just is.
There's some people who just have that thing that you just want to look at them.
It was amazing. I
Um,
was like, and then, of course, Little Feat and Dr. John were great, but there was
yeah.
a reason BB King was headlining, and I never had gotten it. I mean, I liked it when I heard it. It sounded good. I mean, it
Yeah.
never sounded bad, but
No, I know what you
like
mean.
I was moved, and some of my favorite bands haven't done that to me.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them, but some of them.
I don't
I
know if you
made Phil
listen to,
Coulson
I
do
don't know
it.
if, yeah. I don't know if you listen to Fleet Foxes, but I always liked the records, and then I saw them live, and it's like just a whole different thing. It was so good, like just
Oh, okay.
really like better than the records, which I would not have expected considering how detailed and lush and orchestral those records are. Um,
Oh, so
man,
so
it
are
was
they kind of
really
keeping
good.
the same arrangements, and it's just got a different energy, or are they changing the
Yeah,
arrangements
no,
or
it
sparsing it?
was just it wasn't changed that much. It wasn't changing the arrangements, but it just somehow just worked differently live. I don't know how to explain it. Some bands
Fleet
are just
Foxes,
that way.
I will have to check it out because I'm ignorant like that. I like to hear
Yeah.
suggestions.
Well, they're very, they're very Pet Sounds influenced
Ah,
kind
oh,
of band.
okay.
Yeah. But also
They do
like sort
sound,
of
the name sounds
Americana.
familiar.
Yeah. 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 You dig them, I think.
My my big
Helplessness Blues.
Americana band. I'm a huge Big Thief fan as a
Oh yeah.
band that
Yeah. I like them. My wife
we
plays them all the time.
we got to see them in Alabama about a little over a year ago, and so that's kind of my big Americana band that I love. She just put out a new album, and I was so annoyed that it was good because I was like, oh, I got to listen to it, and
Yeah.
but that's what I love about music, when it just, you always get pissed off when it's so good. You're like, damn
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Well,
oh,
I
that's so
had, I
good,
had,
it hurts.
I had tacos with Murray Attaway from Guadalcanal Diary a
Ah,
week and a half ago, and
holy smokes.
yeah,
Okay, that's awesome.
you got a Guadalcanal Diary store.
No, well, it's
Yeah,
a small one. I don't know him,
yeah,
but it's just about
but
them being an influence.
yeah, I've gotten to know him a little bit. He's this great guy, and he's doing a solo album right now. And he played me a couple of the songs, and they're amazing. Like I'm can't wait to hear the rest of the album. But I told him
Wow.
I'm like I'm going to give you the highest compliment I can, which is when I heard that I was simultaneously exhilarated and extremely depressed
Yeah.
because like it's so much better than what I'm doing, which makes me like depressed as shit. But I'm so exhilarated that you're doing
It
it.
is that it's that bittersweet thing. Yeah, you love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know if you do talk to that guy, I don't know them from Adam, but I know is would he have been the one that played the guitar solo on Litany?
No, that would be Jeff Wells probably.
No, that's just one of the few guitar solos I've ever learned.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good
I don't
one.
have the patience to try to learn someone else's solo, but that one spoke to me, and I was like, "That's a
Yeah,
damn good solo." And the other one is Black Coffee in Bed, that
yeah,
little jazzy one. I
yeah,
remember learning that one in high school. Like I never played solos, but I was like, "That's a cool solo. I'm gonna try to learn that."
yeah.
Because I couldn't shred, I couldn't make it do that, but I could play those type of solos.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can't make
um,
anything shred at all. I've tried.
well, you play cool guitar. Yeah, the older I get, I'm just more about friggin' feel. And I mean, I like spicy notes in certain genres at the right time, of course,
Yeah.
but it's like I don't care if you know all the skills or not. Does it feel good?
Yeah. And I mean
And
that's what I love about having Marty on my record is, basically the way it generally works is I kind of get the tracks down and then he comes in and sprinkles, I call it Marty magic, you know,
right,
over it and plays some leads and some solos. And it's always just right, tasteful but cool, or when I want him to be bombastic, he was bombastic. Um
I'm amazed at people that can. I mean, that don't have help. Like I love the collaborative. I mean, um, if you can do it all on your own and like a Prince or something, that's amazing and that's an incredible vision. But I think two heads is better than one, or more heads is better than
well,
one always, as far as whatever the best idea wins, right?
yeah, and what I spent 20 years or whatever just doing little snippets of songs on my hard drive, some of which are on this album now, that turned into full songs, but I never finished anything. And I think it's because I likened it to trying to be a stand-up comic and telling jokes to an empty room to find out if they're any good. It's like you probably start out thinking it's good, and then by the time you've told it a few times, you're like, this is terrible. That's the way my
Right.
brain works if I'm around something enough. Um, and just yeah, having someone you respect to
Well,
bounce ideas off of is huge. And I bristle at criticisms. I'm not great at taking it, at
no
least
one is.
at least in the
No
moment.
one is.
But
Especially not on something
there
like a
been
song.
there've been a ton of times when like I will bristle at something Marty said, and then I'll go, well, I should listen to him. This guy's one of my favorite guitar players. He's made like 500 albums.
Yeah.
I should listen to him. And so and I do, and he's always right. So it's like you have to have that respect for whoever you're kind of bouncing your stuff off of.
No, no. I mean, it's amazing the local musicians that have been teaching me for the last, I guess, 6 years that I've been playing in Savannah. Um, I'm very grateful for. I really, I mean, they truly are teaching me. I'm learning, kind of on the gig in some situations, especially in the jazz stuff and all.
Yeah.
And and it's amazing when I can try. I mean, like you said, it's hard to take criticism, and we get real sensitive because we all have that Fred, because we all have imposter syndrome anyway. So if there's a
Yeah.
criticism, that means they see the imposter. Oh
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah. My,
Um,
my
but uh,
life is
but I'm
impossible.
trying to, yeah. Um, my favorite one. This was the quick story. Is this guy is a great guitarist. He's an older guy. He's a great guitarist. I get to play with a lot. And I brought a fretless bass because I started on fretless bass and I used to play it all the time um, when I was young. And so sure I can play it. So I brought my fretted just in case because I'm not stupid. But I needed that security blanket. I don't have to commit all night to
Yeah.
fretless.
Yeah.
And after the first song, which was kind of an easy song with only a couple of changes, um, the guitarist was like, I think I'm gonna check my tuning. He starts checking his tuning, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna put the fretless bass over here. I'm gonna get the fretted bass back because he never has to check his tuning. I mean, he knows if he's in tune or not.
Yeah. That's funny.
I'm gonna check
No,
my tuning.
but I love that sound of it, just being coming in
Yeah, I got to do that on Train in Vain
or on Flyaway, I think.
or Flyaway. Flyaway.
Yeah, yeah,
No, Train in Vain was fretted. You're right.
yeah,
It was Flyaway.
yeah. It was perfect on that. Really came out nice.
It was real subtle, but it gives it a nice. I mean, when you play a fret, if I can nerd out for a second, to kind of get a bar gig or something where you need to sound like blues or rock or jazz or whatever it is, uh, unless you're playing like world music, or something primacy.
Yeah.
If you're playing fretless bass, you are working very hard to just try and just sound like a regular blues fretted precision bass or something,
Right.
playing a blues line or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing like, jazz, and then so it's just so much damn work, and I got lazy.
You
And
ever
it's like
played stand-up? Have you ever played stand-up bass?
I have what's called a half size. The normal stand-up bass you see is called a 3/4
Yeah.
size. I'm pretty sure about this. And then I have one that was given to me in two pieces that I had someone put together. Randy Wood down here is an amazing guy. If you look him up, Eric, all kind of amazing uh, clients he's had, Eric Clapton, kind of stuff like that. But he put it together, or one of his employees put it together. And the problem is it's a student bass. The fundamental of the note is not that strong. It's a shorter scale, and it doesn't have a great sound to me, and it's hard to play. So I've used it in the past, but I haven't played it in. I've used it on some stuff in Statesboro, Georgia, when I lived there,
Yeah.
for some musical theater stuff that was local. But
Yeah.
I sucked at it, and
That's
but I would love to get a real one. But those things. I mean, if you want to get a decent one, I mean, you're probably going to spend starting at least $6,000 or something, if not.
wow.
I mean, they go
That's a
up
lot.
to. I used to get catalogs, $40,000 for a hand carved
Yeah.
double bass.
Oof.
But anyway, they're
I'd be
cool. It's
afraid
just
to play it,
I'll nerd out just a little bit longer and just say that I have infinite respect for double bass players, and especially, I mean, well, no, just double bass players, because it's a beast. And if you can make it sound pretty, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like going to a dance and let me find the person that I want to dance with that is the least able to dance gracefully, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to make it dance gracefully. And if you can do that, it's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
so big and unwieldy, and the strings
Yeah.
take
But
forever to start vibrating.
You got to like make that crazy long move.
Yeah,
be accurate with it.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. But I love playing electric bass.
There you go. I hear you. I got a bass 6. It's on the album a couple places, but it's mostly in
Wait a minute, really?
the background.
Where did I miss that? Yeah, pretty okay.
I just do it texturally, really. Although
I've always wanted to try one of those.
On Come Alive, which you didn't play bass on, but and I probably should have had you play on it because the song didn't come out as well as I would have liked it to. But there's a little riff at the beginning that's bass 6. It's like the main sort of.
I'll have to go back to that.
Yeah.
I was kind of listening again because I was like, I'm trying to remember what I played on. But I mean, I'm so proud. I got this album, like, and my son's, he's got it in the room, and it's like,
nice.
We got to get a turntable and listen to that.
Yeah, well, let me give you another copy or anything.
That was so cool. I mean, that was just like, wow.
Yeah, it's
pretty amazing what you've accomplished. That's a big. You've taken on a big, ambitious project, and you've delivered.
Well,
you've written these great songs.
Yep.
That's a big undertaking.
It was huge. I appreciate that, man. It's
I'm just trying to
acknowledge
that.
A ton of work and a ton of fun, and
not to mention logistics of just getting everyone on recorded. Yeah.
Like I was like Marty was here for a few days, and then he was in Dallas doing some sessions, and so I drove out there and tacked onto his sessions so we could do some more stuff. And then Michael was around, he was on tour with Better Than Ezra. So it's like whenever he would go back home to LA, I'm like, can you get in the studio?
Yeah.
So yeah, it took
amazing.
a long time to get the record done, but but that's fine, you know, and it was, I'm really proud of the way the whole thing hangs together sort of sonically and also like, you know, meaning wise. I mean, the title significance, I think all the songs are about that in some way, shape or form, you know, trying to be significant or figure out what it means to be significant or,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, we've gotten to
yeah,
that age where we're like, what the
yeah,
hell are we here for? You
yeah,
know, what is
exactly.
this all about? And I
Yeah,
mean, I was reading, you know, when I'm listening or reading the lyrics, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I talked to Jimmy, you know, your old bandmate Jimmy, and he said he related to the line, I'm not done dreaming yet." Uh,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
I
was like, well,
know.
good for you, man. You know, yeah, that's, I don't want to, I turned 50 and I'm like, I don't want to just hang it up. You know, let's see what we can do here for 10.
My analogy to that would be, I always say, when I grow up, I want to, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I've already grown up. I got to do
I
that
know,
now.
I
I
know,
got to do that. I got to buy that guitar now.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I mean, it's amazing, but then thankfully so, you know, um, I'm just trying to be aware of it. And I don't want to, be that person that is mad that things aren't the way they were when I was younger, because
yeah,
people don't realize you were that. Now you're mad at that person that you used to be. You
yeah,
were that person, you know, when there were
yeah,
other people complaining about what you were doing at that age or whatever. But
yeah. I grumble a lot about the state
the
of
more
music
things
today.
change, the more
Yeah,
they stay the
yeah,
same. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I saw something. Well, anyway, I won't go off on a tangent, but I'm just trying to keep things in perspective, and also just realize what I can't control, and I'm just going to
yeah.
make myself damn happy. I'm just
Yeah, it's like
determined to do it.
there's nothing I can do that's going to change the fact that people like Cardi B. So
Yeah, the best I can do is be nice to who I bump into, and then hopefully that radiates out, and maybe that radiates out, and that energy, you know, who knows? It dies after the third person probably who's
yeah,
had a bad day. But also just realize sometimes people are just having shitty days.
yeah,
You know, the
sure,
older you get, you have more shitty days. So you
sure.
realize, you know, maybe that person wasn't so they weren't so nice because not because they don't like you. It's just they got some other crap on their mind. I'm trying to remember that too.
Everybody's
It's like,
fighting
well, you
their
know,
own
it
battle against something. Yeah,
was, oh yeah. But so but yeah, no, it's truly it is. I'll go back to um an impressive album that you've created, and writing the songs being the biggest hurdle. I mean, we jumped to the recording. All that shit's easy compared to the actual genesis of why you need to record. I mean, I,
yeah,
the jogging suit syndrome is what I call. I'm going to start working out, but first I'm going to go buy the jogging suit that
yeah,
matches and it's
yeah,
cute and it goes with these shoes. That's all fun.
yeah,
It's the jogging or the working out that sucks.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we got to the picking out the jogging suit and how we're going to make it sound in the studio and all that. But you did the you did the actual working out of writing the songs.
Yeah.
So once again, I'll just that's
Well,
a big
thanks.
accomplishment.
You know, I
And
learned, you know, I learned that if something's not working, i- if I keep putting hours into it, eventually it'll work.
that's
And
amazing. I
um,
need to remember that too. I've
and
tried to write a
that
few little
was huge.
things, you know.
It's not that I suck. It's that sometimes shit doesn't work. I mean, Executioner song is one of my favorite ones on the album, and
That's a good tune.
I struggled to fuck with that thing, man. I couldn't get lyrics to it. I couldn't get the tempo right, and, you know. And then it finally just gelled, and I really, that's one, yeah, one of my
But
favorite.
you knew you had something there that you made you want
Yeah,
to keep working on it.
yeah. The guy,
What part of the song did you have that you knew what made you wanted to finish the song? Like the
uh,
verse or chorus or both?
I think the bridge or the pre-chorus actually I really liked. You know,
Okay.
and that guitar part, it's a little bit like the guitar part in Sailing by Christopher Cross, sort of in a weird way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I kept at it. I just felt like there was something there. And
That's what's interesting to me. Yeah, you knew
yeah,
there was something there, and
you know,
you wanted to.
it's funny. I've been accused in my past of writing songs that are a verse and a pre-chorus, and then there's no hook. And that one, I had just gotten that criticism, and so I made a real point to take the pre-chorus and not go, okay, that was the hook, but go, all right, now I got to go into a hook. You know,
Na, 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 da,
yeah,
da. Is that's the hook,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm singing it right now. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
yeah.
I
So
should know the words. Please say no offense.
Yeah.
I'm bad about words. Patty, my wife's a singer, and she always, you don't even know what this is about. You've been playing this song with me for how many years?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
I've
funny
really
because
never.
it's this nice sort of sounding song. And the lyrics I started out with at first on it, were like nice little lyrics. And it just was syrupy sweet, when I did that. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll write it about Jeffrey Dahmer because I was watching this documentary about him. And I'm like, I can't fucking write a song about Jeffrey Dahmer. But I was reading this book called The Executioner Song by Norman Mailer about
Not heard of that.
about a guy named Gary Gilmore who is the only person to ask the government to execute him, and they obliged him after years of court fighting. But
Wow.
yeah, it was a really interesting story. He was this smart, articulate, artistic guy, but who just had a rage screw loose and killed a couple people, and knew that he would never be able to control that. And
Almost like he made a judgment for the greater good to take himself out.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't belong here, and rehabilitating me is never going to work. And if you let me out of prison, I'm going to kill someone else. And
I just thought of a dark joke. I mean, that's
no,
like the ultimate attention grab, right? No,
yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Well, but and I think it was sort of him saying, well, my life wasn't very significant. Maybe my death could be. And it is, we're talking about him now.
Wow. So. I don't even know that story. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like late 60s. I think he was executed in early 70s, but maybe late 70s. Yeah, in Utah. But
of course.
Anyway. Well, cool, man. We can keep talking for like 6 more hours, I think.
I feel like I'm just creating more work for you because I keep talking. So you just tell me. I don't know what you're going to do with this, but
I don't either. But maybe I'll just put all of it. But we're about to run out of time on this meeting now. So
yeah.
So this was awesome.
Whatever you want to say.
Cool.
Oh, thank you. I had a fun time. I mean, I can be too verbose. So
no, you were great, man. It was really fun and great to talk to you and hear some stories and some thoughts on musicianship. And I've always admired you as being a really terrific musician.
That's very kind of you to say.
I continue to do that, and I will call you again when I have some more stuff for you to play on. So
I love it. That's
and
so great.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's continue.
And I still am hoping at some point the stars will align to have some sort of gig here, with everybody. But there will have to be a lot of alignment to make that happen.
Yeah, I understand.
But
it's going to be my time is clearing up more and more as my son gets older, of course. He'll be a senior next year. And
yeah, I'm starting to play some acoustic stuff around.
That's so cool.
I realized I've done this in reverse, right? Usually you play out and you play and play and play and play, and then you make a record. And I've like made the record and I had no following, no nothing. So I'm like, well, I got to start doing something.
But you can use the record to get gigs.
Yeah. So
that's and you're playing your tunes at these gigs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
So
a few people I play with have some original tunes, but most of it's not, and the jazz, I guess anyway, but yeah, I don't get to play. I don't have there's not a band I'm playing with that. Oh, actually there's Stan Ray Soul Experience. Yeah, but not much.
Yeah.
And that band doesn't play very much, but it's always fun to play original music. And it's just, but it's also fun to make.
It's a lot to ask. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to ask of an audience to hear a song for the first time and really dig it, so. But
yeah, my Patty, she has a band, Patty and the Mild-Mannered Men, and she always wants to do the slow, torchy song because singers love it, that they can I'm like, baby, this is going to be a noisy bar. I mean, you're going to try to make them listen to, Lush Light or whatever the song is, but we got to do something upbeat, we got to.
It's Margaritaville. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm always trying to find the fine line.
There's a line. Yeah, there's definitely a line.
Like we do a Big Thief song, but we'll sandwich it in between Spooky and Ode to Billy Joe or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But anyway, man, thank you so much. And
thank you. Cool.
Have fun or whatever. I hope I had a good time. talking
I
either
did
way.
too, man. I did too. We'll do it again sometime.
I'll be on the lookout.
All right, cool, man. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. If I can